The grocery store was buzzing with the usual Sunday chaos, carts squeaking, children crying, and people in a rush to get home. But for Emily Carter, this wasn't just another errand. It was another battlefield. Her 6-year-old son, Noah, was clinging tightly to her hand, his oversized hoodie slightly stained, his sneakers scuffed, and his eyes filled with worry. That's when the laughter started. 3 teenagers near the snack aisle were watching them, whispering and snickering. One of them, tall and smug, said loud enough for Emily to hear, "Looks like someone picked up their clothes from the donation bin." The others burst into laughter. Emily stopped. Her breath caught for a moment, but she didn't say a word. She looked down at Noah. His eyes dropped to the floor. He was used to it. That was the worst part. They walked away, pushing their cart slowly, trying to finish their shopping in peace. But it didn't end there. The boys followed them from a distance, making mocking gestures, taking pictures, and laughing. When Noah asked if they could go home, Emily's heart broke. She wanted to say something. She wanted to snap back. But she had learned long ago, don't engage. Stay calm. Be better. What they didn't know, what no one here knew, was that Emily Carter was once Staff Sergeant Emily Carter, United States Marine Corps. She had served 3 tours overseas, lost friends in combat, and returned home with scars that weren't all visible. She had traded her uniform for motherhood, her rifle for lullabies, and her military salary for minimum wage shifts to keep her son fed and safe. After her husband abandoned them just 2 years ago, Emily had been doing everything on her own. Working nights at a warehouse. Studying part-time. Raising a child who asked questions like, "Mom, why don't I have a dad?" and "Are we poor?" And still, she kept going. That day, after they left the store, Emily cried in the car. Quietly. So Noah wouldn't hear. She cried not because of the boys, but because her son thought he had to be ashamed of who they were. But fate has a strange way of giving you a second chance. The next week, the school held its annual Hero Day, where students could invite someone they saw as a hero to speak to their class. Noah had written one word on his form, "Mom." Emily had hesitated at first, not wanting the attention. But Noah insisted. So on Friday morning, she stood in front of a room full of second graders, wearing a simple blouse and jeans. No makeup. Just herself. She began to speak. "I'm not famous. I'm not rich. But I've been a protector my whole life. I served in the U.S. Marine Corps for 9 years. I've seen the worst of humanity, and I've seen the best. And I came home to raise the best person I've ever met, my son." She told stories, not of war, but of courage, friendship, sacrifice, and what it meant to truly fight for someone. The kids were silent. Even the teachers were tearing up. What Emily didn't know was that one of the students in the class was the younger brother of one of the bullies from the grocery store. That night, something unexpected happened. There was a knock at the door. Emily opened it to see the tall teen who had mocked them. His hands were in his pockets, eyes on the ground. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. "I didn't know who you were. I didn't know what you've been through. My brother told me about your talk today. I was a jerk." Emily stared at him. Not angry. Not cold. Just tired. "It's not about who I was," she said. "It's about how we treat people, no matter who they are." He nodded and walked away. But word spread. In the weeks that followed, people began to see Emily differently. Some parents at school started conversations. Teachers thanked her. Her manager at work offered her better shifts. The principal invited her back to speak to older students. And Noah, he started walking a little taller. The same boys who once laughed at them now greeted them with respect. They didn't become close friends, but the mocking stopped. The judgment stopped. And slowly, the weight on Emily's shoulders began to lift. She hadn't needed to raise her voice or throw a punch. She had used the greatest weapon she had, dignity. Emily Carter didn't need to prove her worth to anyone. She had already done it on foreign soil, in long nights of study, in moments of silent sacrifice, and in every bedtime story she read to her son. And Noah. He never again asked if they were poor. He just told everyone, with pride in his voice. "My mom's a hero." The message of Emily's story is simple: you never know who someone really is. You never know the battles they've fought or the strength they carry. Kindness costs nothing, but it can mean everything. And the quietest people often have the loudest stories. Because real strength isn't always loud. It's often worn in silence, carried in grocery aisles, whispered in lullabies, and wrapped in the arms of a child who knows, without a doubt, that his mom is the bravest person in the world.